The Boruto Chapter 16 Sneak Peek Part 2 is out, and this sneak peek is actually giving us a lot more information than the previous regarding what this chapter entails. And it also gives us some key information for the future of Boruto's story. The text spoilers will be coming out in the coming hours, and I presume the raw scans and the fan translations will be coming out soon after, so I will be covering all of them on the channel when they get released. So if you want to see those as soon as they do get released, then make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss when I drop that video, as I will make sure to be the first on YouTube to post all about them. Anyways, getting into the sneak peek itself, it seems as though we are having a conversation between Eida and Shikamaru on what seems like the infamous balcony where Eida holds all of her OnlyFans meet and greets. Eida basically tells Shikamaru that Kawaki and Boruto have agreed to cooperate for the time being, and if Shikamaru wants to do something about the shinju, then it's best for him not to interfere with them. Shikamaru kind of brushes past this and then goes on to tell Eida that Boruto has a mysterious ally who is helping him gather information, as well as helping Boruto with his decision making. Shikamaru then asks Eida whether he has seen the guy who is helping him. Eida just looks blankly into space, and Shikamaru keeps pressing by saying that previously, this mysterious ally called out to Shikamaru himself through the use of the toads. And these toads are ones that Shikamaru had seen before. And hence Shikamaru pins this mysterious ally down to being Kashin Koji. And he then goes on to ask Eida whether his observation is correct, and Eida just kind of glances back at him with a relatively neutral expression. Now that is where the page ends, and you may think that since this is literally just a brief interaction, there isn't much to unpack here, but I would actually disagree. I think this conversation is actually very telling for what's to come in the future of Boruto's story, as well as what we can expect for the chapter itself. So it's clear that the conversation didn't start here, as the flow of it makes it quite obvious that the conversation had been going on for at least a page or two before this, which makes me think why Shikamaru has actually reached out to Eida here, as it seems as though Shikamaru's gone out of his way to go to Eida's house to talk to her, and Eida hasn't necessarily gone to Shikamaru. This kind of makes me think that perhaps this isn't the first time these two have spoken like this. If you remember back to the last chapter, you will remember Eida looking at the interaction between Shikamaru and Mitsuki, almost looking unfazed by it all, which to me implies that perhaps Eida was already aware of this plan between Mitsuki and Shikamaru to free Boruto. And it again goes back even further to that chat between Mitsuki and Eida, which then to me kind of implies that these guys do have some sort of relationship or alliance, since it's extremely unlikely that Shikamaru would free Boruto in front of Eida's prying eyes and just prayed that she doesn't snitch, and that he must have known that Eida already knew what was going on and was okay with it. Which then takes us back to the sneak peek itself, where with context we can now deduce that this interaction isn't the first time these two have spoken in this format. Now obviously I could be completely wrong with what I'm saying here, and this conversation was actually just about Shikamaru's decision to free Boruto, and Eida wanted to ask Shikamaru why he did it, and that's what led to Shikamaru talking about Kashin Koji, and I think both are very viable outcomes, but I do think the previous option does make sense, as it does kind of tie into what we saw in chapter 14 of Boruto. But moving on from that, we have to consider the ramifications of Shikamaru already knowing of Kashin Koji's alliance with Boruto. It is clear that Kashin Koji does not want to reveal his identity to specifically Amado, since Amado likely has the ability to shut down Kashin Koji, like he can with all the other cyborgs, and Kashin Koji knows that if this were to happen, Boruto would be in a very tough situation without the use of Kashin Koji's future sight. But to me, it's more important that Shikamaru is aware that Eida was already aware of Kashin Koji's existence, and she was inadvertently aiding Boruto by not leaking his whereabouts or his teacher at any point, because this is something a lot of people, myself included, have not considered yet. And this is as to why people have not caught on that Eida cannot find Boruto's location, or why it's taken 3 years for Eida to be able to see Boruto. Obviously, we know this is because Eida agreed to not tell anyone Boruto's whereabouts, but to the people in the village, they didn't see that conversation, so they obviously wouldn't have known that Eida is agreeing to help Boruto. But Shikamaru seems fully aware and unfazed by this information that Eida is actually helping Boruto, which just reiterates the point I was thinking about when we found out Shikamaru and Eida were working together. As if Shikamaru the Hokage, the guy holding all the power, declared Eida a traitor by withholding information about Boruto, then he could very easily cast Eida out of the village due to her lacking to comply to define Boruto. Obviously there is the idea that he couldn't due to the strength of Eida and Daemon, but if we did go along with the previous idea, then it would make sense that Eida was in fact in an alliance with Shikamaru already. But just a final point I want to discuss before I end this video is the impending doom of Kashin Koji. Narratively speaking, I feel as though there are so many moments and implications they are all pointing towards Kashin Koji dying in the near future, with more and more people beginning to discover that he is Boruto's ally, or that he's the mastermind behind all of Boruto's actions. It only spells trouble for Kashin Koji, since he has made sure to keep his identity a secret from those he has seen in the future would become a problem for him. But he intentionally went out to Shikamaru in this case in order to make him aware of their situation. This kind of suggests two things to me. One is Kashin Koji has seen the importance Shikamaru holds when it comes to defeating the Shinju, and two is this is an explanation as to how Shikamaru was able to realize the truth about Boruto and Kawaki switching places. This moment shows that it wasn't Shikamaru's own intuition, but instead it was with the help of Kashin Koji that was able to make him aware of the truth. Anyways, I've spoken enough about this singular page, so I'll end the video here for now. But as I speak, it seems as though the tech spoilers are slowly trickling out, so in an hour or two expect a video of me discussing them. And like I said, if you don't want to miss it, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, as I will try to be the first person to release those videos. And if you did like this video in particular, then make sure to smash the like button, and also make sure to comment your thoughts on this sneak peek in the comments down below. But with that all said, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.